And this is the returning the overpayment TIF. Okay, we are now live streaming, so I'll call us back into order. We're going to go through 169. I've got this on for discussion and vote. This is the bill overpaying, refunding the money to the city of Barry for an overpayment in their TIF district, and also setting up the mechanism so in the future, there's a system where these can be done automatically and they don't have to go through the legislature. My understanding is that if this just happens normally, there is a system, but if it happens in the TIF districts, it doesn't. So Abby, if you're ready, we got some suggestions for tightening up the language the other day and clarifying, and nobody had, and the auditor, Department of Ed didn't have any objections to doing this. They just didn't want to have to write a formal report annually and just notify us. And we had some tightening up language and clarifying that you check with the that the Secretary of Education check with the tax department to make sure that rebates hadn't been made under another system. So Abby, you want to walk us through this? And
great, thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay.
So would you like me to walk you through the amendment? Share my screen?
Okay, so this is this is amendments to.
Yeah, so,
no,
sorry,
not
we were
a strike.
offline.
Okay.
So just for the record, Abby Shepherd, Office of Legislative Counsel. So this is instances of amendment because it was 3 small changes rather than doing a full strike all. And the 3 changes were in the first section because the language had said not later than fiscal 23 for the refund to go to Barry City. This would replace not later than within fiscal year 23. The only thing to note with making that change is that means there would not be able to be a refund earlier than fiscal 23. I'm not sure that feasibly that would happen. I think that language is initially included in case it was possible to make the adjustment prior to July 1st.
Right. But we're in fiscal 23, so.
Not yet, not till July 1st.
Not till July 1st. That's right. We're still in 22. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Not later than fiscal year 2023. All right. But
so the amendment language would say
get it done, they can do it earlier then.
If you wanted to keep the not later than language, that's what that would allow. But I don't know that that's feasible.
Okay.
So we could change it. The recommendation from the auditors was just to say in fiscal year 23.
Okay.
It's I don't really care, but I've never in statute ever seen us say no later than a year. We say no later than a date certain all the time. But it just is, we're granting them big authority, broad authority, and then sort of saying, you know, any time in the year. What is the goal here? We're trying to quickly get this money back to Barry.
Yeah. I think this is the one that's specific to Barry. It's specific to this one incident. And they obviously would like a check tomorrow. So this is saying they're going to get it back.
I mean, should we say June 1st so they can plan for their next fiscal year? I don't know. No later than an entire year is kind of crazy. So to me, so if we mean no later than the end of June, let's just say that.
I thought the deputy auditor's suggestion was to just put a date in there, and I thought, I could be wrong, I thought he was suggesting July 1st, but maybe it's not possible to get the refund out by then.
The other appropriations that have been made for really similar sort of miscalculations, little errors like this, were just in fiscal year, the next fiscal year. So that's why I changed it to language in, but it could also just be
Okay.
a date. A date certain. It could be July 1st, if you'd like.
Couldn't they
Of
pay it by then?
2023 or July 1st of,
22.
Yes, if you wanted it to be on a specific date, it could be July 1st, 2022. That would be the start of fiscal year 23.
But is there any problem with paying it by then to get it, all the paperwork and stuff done?
I don't think anyone, there's no issue that it's owed. So it, then how much paperwork can there be?
Really? I agree.
What about just the rest of the bill that's just, which is more broad and not just Barry, says on or before June 30th. So, which is important, I assume, trying to get in before the end of a fiscal year very
Yeah.
intentionally. So what about just saying the same, and that gets Barry maybe the ability to plan on it for fiscal year 23, knowing that it's
Okay,
coming.
so do on or before June 30th, 2022.
Correct. Yep.
Okay,
Okay. Can make that change. Great.
Thank you. Sorry, I wasn't very clear whenever it was 2 days ago, Abby, but
it's,
Fine.
it hasn't been a heavy week, folks. I mean, what? And you should have
Been a
been in
heavy
health
year.
and
We
just
welfare
have
this morning when we went through all the recommendations of the,
Oh, my God.
oh, I mean, just
Abby, would-
so much to absorb.
I know.
It's been a
Abby,
long day.
Would you have to change the effective date then, though? Because wouldn't that deadline be before the effective date of the bill?
I'm just looking at the underlying bill. I don't know off the top of my head.
Think,
Yes, that's correct. Yes, absolutely. That would require an amendment to the effective date, which could just be on passage.
Okay, yeah. It's not gonna. All right, let's go to,
So that is the only change that was made to the one-time refund to the
Payment,
city of
yeah.
Barry. The next two changes are to the two sections that create this ongoing authority. The second instance of amendment strikes out who the Secretary of Education would be reporting to. So instead of the General Assembly, it now would read the House Committees on Education and on Ways and Means, and the Senate Committees on Education and on Finance. So it'd be more tailored, which is traditionally how reports are required, especially for very specific issues like this. In the third instance of amendment, this is to the education fund section. After it allows the Secretary of Education to make the payments, there added the words "in consultation with the Commissioner of Taxes," because the auditor had pointed out that there are occasions where following an appeal or a court order, a town's listed values can be reduced or increased. It's possible to go both ways. Where the Commissioner of Taxes then has a mechanism that they can credit the next year's payments. So this requires the Secretary of Education to consult with the Department of Taxes to see if there's any overlap between the change in the town's education liability.
okay,
And then this is not showing up in the language, but as Senator Hardy just pointed out, there would need to be a fourth instance of amendment, striking the effective date and inserting on passage. So that the June 1st or June 30th payment would happen. Otherwise, there'd be a conflict because the bill wouldn't have taken effect yet.
okay. Committee, do we want to wait until Monday to see a clean copy? No, we're ready to vote now. So with those changes, which is to do no later than June 30th, 2022. The other two remain the same, and then adding the effective date to changing the effective date to on passage. Can I have a motion to amend right now?
So move, Madam Chair.
Senator McDonald has moved that we amend S 169, and this would be draft 1.2 if you do another one, as set forth in draft 1.2. Is there further discussion on that? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 I,
I'm hearing that as 700, unless I'm hearing wrong. Okay, we'll have to start going to Senator McDonald's thumbs up, thumbs down. Next, I need a motion to approve as amended.
So move, Madam Chair.
Senator McDonald has moved. Is there further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 I,
Opposed, say no. That carries 700. And Abby, as soon as you get a clean copy, I'm trying to figure out how we do this for John Bloomer. You want to email it to me? If you don't get it today, I will send it up on Monday or Tuesday. Okay? But if you send it
will,
to me.
I'll inform Secretary Bloomer that it's forthcoming, and would you like him to contact you or
Sure,
contact
yeah, ask him to
or contact
tell him
Faith?
we're getting, well, I'll be in touch as soon as I have a clean copy. Or Abby, can you just send the clean copy to him?
I don't think so.
I think he still needs affirmative approval by you, Madam Chair.
Yeah, I will
Mhm.
contact him and tell him that I'm reporting that the clean copy, you will be sending him a clean copy. And the vote was 700. Okay,
You
Thank
the
you,
reporter, Madam
committee.
Chair?
pardon?
And you are the reporter?
I am the
You go.
reporter unless somebody else wants to.
make sure you get the zeros in the right place, Mark, that the Y zero goes and
Why-
the Z zero.
I
goes with
missed
the-
that thing on Y zeros and X zeros.
I messed it up on the floor today and it was
was
good
a
that
near-
Josh
I
pointed
know.
that out.
And the
A
first,
year-
I saw Karen Zini's hand and I said, wait, this isn't kosher. You know, you're not supposed to argue against a bill you're in the committee on. And it was the voting thing.
It's funny because I had it right in my write-up. I just said it wrong. So
Yeah.
I went back and checked. I was like, I was right. I just read it wrong, but it's important.
Yeah.
So zero's right, Mark.
Yes, so this time there's all zeros except the main vote. So thank everybody. We can go off live. I will see you on Tuesday.
Have a good
Thanks.
weekend, everybody.
Everybody have a good, stay warm.